since I've last been here. Oh my God. All right, so I gotta say that the most awkward thing that's really ever happened to me is one of my friends asking me if I wanted to have sex with him over Facebook. I think the term he used was, "I broke up with my girlfriend, would you like to comfort me?" And I laughed. In which case I guess I'm kind of super glad that he wasn't in the room, because I run in a group of friends where like they're all nerdy and stuff, so there's kind of this thing where it's like, you know, you gotta be a little bit more delicate with like the sex stuff with them. They don't always get it a whole ton, so it's super important that you break it to them nicely. Just really gentle. So he comes on Facebook and he's just like, did you see it? And I'm just kind of like, yeah. You know, not at this time. No, I'm not really. No. And he's just kind of like, well, maybe later. And I'm like, someday, maybe, in like the really far future, when I'm lonely or something. I don't really wanna. But the good news is that we ended up still remaining friends despite like the general awkwardness of it. And so like spring break was coming up, and I like to draw pictures, and one of my favorite things about spring break is that you get into the Northern for free if you have your student ID. I have a student ID. And I'm an art student, so I usually go there with like a sketchbook, and it's free figure drawing. It's fantastic. They have Topless Tuesdays, and it's just like a plethora of like things to draw. I love it. So my friend is also this artist, and so I was just like, hey, do you want to like come to the Northern with me on Tuesday during spring break and draw naked women? He's like, yeah. So that was happening. The only problem was that like my phone broke, so I spent the majority of that day basically waiting at my apartment for my phone to arrive. I couldn't leave. I couldn't go anywhere because I have horrible luck. In the like moment that I leave, I'm gonna like come back with like a sign on the door like, "We missed you," and then I'm never gonna get my phone. So I was communicating with him over Facebook again, and he was gonna pick me up, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll just come over to your place like after I get done with this group thing." So we were gonna go over to the strip club at like 7, and he comes over at like 1. And it's kind of weird. But he comes over and he's like, no, it's cool. Like, I brought stuff for us to watch. We'll just wait for your phone to arrive because you can't leave your apartment. And like, it was going pretty good. And then he just kind of like touches me. And I'm just kind of like, no, not really. But again, you gotta break it to these people nicely. So like, again, I was just kind of like, no, not really. No, not this time. I'm not, no. No. Yeah, but it didn't really seem like, I thought he got it, but it didn't really seem like he got it. So it kind of happens again, and I'm just like, and finally, like, eventually, like, I can't take it anymore. I can't take my apartment. I can't take, like, I'm going to Chipotle. Screw this. So, like, he's just kind of like, I'll go with you. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I get on my shoes and everything else, and I'm just like, okay, I gotta break it to you, like, this is just kind of weirding me out. I don't wanna. Whatever that Facebook thing was, I don't wanna. He's like, yeah, you don't wanna. It's okay. All right, cool. So we go to Chipotle, and I come back, and the phone hasn't, like, come and left. It's super exciting. And I finally get it, and I'm super stoked. But then I have to go and set it up, so, like, I turn to my friend, and I'm like, so, I mean, if we're gonna, like, do this strip club thing, like, I'm just gonna need some time away from you, kind of. because I got errands to run. I haven't left my house like all day, except for Mexican food, which was great, but I gotta go. And he's just like, I'll go with you. And I'm like, okay. So we run a whole ton of boring errands, and eventually, like, I'm just tired. It's really stressful. I just want to go home. I don't even want to go to the strip club anymore. I was at that level. So like, finally I'm at Walmart, and I'm just, like, picking up a couple of things. He's still there. And like, I pass the juice, and I make a really stupid comment of, like, oh, hey, it's on sale. That'd be a really cool mixer. And he's like, oh, well, you just want to, like, forgo, like, the strip club and, like, just be drinking? I mean, it's, like, St. Patrick's Day. And I'm like, I guess, yeah, sure. So, I mean, we get back to my apartment, and it's roughly the same thing. And so, like, we're watching stuff, and, like, we're drinking, and, like, stuff is going pretty great and everything else. And it must have been, like, pretty good, because I don't even really remember the rest of it. It was just pretty nice. And then I wake up the next morning naked, and he's there, and he's naked. Which is really super weird, because I kind of remember never agreeing to any of this. So I kind of wake up, and I'm, like, all super shaky because I don't know what's happening, and I'm just sort of like, oh, hey, hi. And I have this thing where I can just generally pretend to be okay. So I'm like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Hey, how are you? It's okay, it's okay. And he eventually leaves, and I just kind of, like, freak out. And over the next couple of months, like, I kind of start coming to terms with the fact that this maybe kind of sort of falls into the category of rape, and I don't know how to deal with it. So I just start telling people, like, what happened. And it was okay. And I was feeling super good, and I could tell this story, and I could tell it to people, and it's really awesome, and I was gonna come here, and I was gonna, like, tell it in November, because it's great, and then something else happened. I went to a con, it's a convention, everybody gets together, they drink, it's cool, everything else, like, I was safe, it was okay. But the thing is that I still have similar interest with this guy. And I was trying to help out a friend with, like, the room party that they were throwing, and the guy, who's not really my friend anymore, is just sitting in the room, camping out. And he kind of really doesn't care. And I'm kind of trying to turn to my friends, being like, is there anything that you can do? They're like, no, there's nothing we can do. Like, it's outside of this. There's absolutely nothing we can do. And then I go to some of my friends who are supposed to be, like, the head of this, and they're just like, no, I mean, if you weren't our friend, like, we'd probably be able to help you out more, but it seems, like, super biased and stuff. So, I mean, now I'm scared. Now I'm scared stiff, because I live in the same city with the guy who raped me, and none of my friends can help.